You're listening to the Basketball Nerd Podcast.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Basketball Nerd Podcast, Episode 5. I'm your host, as always, Derek Lauder, and I'm here with my co-host, Frank Alger. Today's show, we're going to be talking about the last couple days, which have been very exciting in the NBA, and Sunday, which is going to have 2 Game 7s and possibly a third, depending on what happens with Warriors and Rockets tonight. To get started, though, we're going to talk about the game that most recently happened and one that was pretty exciting, Nuggets versus Trailblazers. And we did have Trailblazers move on and force a Game 7 through a pretty good performance from Dame, a really good performance from Rodney Hood and Zach Collins off the bench. But Rodney Hood has been absolutely huge this series. But considering the fact we do have a Game 7, what are your views going forward? How do you think it's going to play out? And how do you think either of these teams would fare next series against the winner of that?
Man, what a beautiful time to be an NBA fan, and we got maybe 3 Game 7s on Sunday.
Agreed.
Whew. I am excited. Pre-series, I've been sticking with my predictions. So I said Blazers in 7 at the beginning of the series. I'm going to stay by that. I think Dame comes out and lights it up, and I think CJ lights it up, and I think the two back-to-back 7-game series might take a toll on it. I honestly don't think that will play a factor, though. I think it's going to be a close-fought game. I think it's going to be an entertaining Game 7. I mean, these games have all been close for the most part. Game 6 and Game 5 were the only two that weren't, too close. But even Game 6 was close throughout most of the game until, towards the end when it was really over.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I got the Blazers winning in a close one and Damian going off. That's what I think will happen. Who do you got?
I agree. I think Portland will win. I think it's going to be extremely close, though. If the Nuggets win, I'm not even going to be a little bit surprised. No. I'm very excited for the game.
I really want to pick the Nuggets, but
it being in Denver, I think is huge.
Yeah.
Home court for both of these teams is huge. That's a really big deal for this series. This second round has been incredible, though. It's lived up to the hype. Besides Celtics Bucks, which we'll talk about later, but the other 3 series has been great, and this one in particular has been just incredible basketball for a lot of it. So I'm so pumped for Game 7 because both teams at the top of their game, ready to go. I think kind of a big X factor in the series, though, is how good Rodney Hood, Zach Collins, and CJ have been playing. Because if they play what they've been playing and Dame goes off, they're going to be hard to beat. They're going to be hard to beat if Dame has a signature Dame game and goes for 35 plus. I think last night he went for 30 plus. So
it will be.
We'll see what happens, but I do have the Blazers.
You can book Jokic getting 25, 15, and 10 in Game 7. So if
I'm booking that in every game he has now. I mean, the dude's incredible.
Yeah, so if Jamal Murray can play a good game, or Gary Harris hasn't really been shooting the ball well, if he could come out and shoot the ball well, that'd be massive. So, or Will Barton could get hot. So I won't be surprised either way it would go. I'm kind of rooting for the Nuggets though, because I think the Nuggets. Honestly, I think if the Nuggets get past the Blazers, against the.
You think they'll lose to the Bucks in the finals?
Yeah, but I would love Nuggets. I think if the Warriors don't have KD, it would be they would beat the Warriors. I think the Rockets Nuggets would be entertaining. I think Nuggets Rockets would be a long series. I think Rockets Blazers would be a long series too, honestly. So I'm excited. I'm so excited.
Yeah. The conference final is going to be awesome, but this Sunday is going to be so fun, and I cannot wait for this game. Once again, I have Blazers. You have Blazers too, and hopefully that kind of makes our pre-series prediction come true. I had Blazers in 5, but this will push it back. But I did have Blazers, and you had
Blazers in 7.
Blazers in 7. So yeah, that'll be right on the money. All right, so let's move forward into 76ers versus Raptors. Game 6 was last night, and 76ers put on a convincing performance to take the win and push it to Game 7 on Sunday. Ben Simmons was great. Joel Embiid was much better. Jimmy Buckets led the team as he's been doing all series. So I guess my question is, what chance do you give them to beat the Raptors in Game 7 in Toronto on Sunday? And if they do move on, are you seeing the 76ers as a serious threat to come out of the East at this point, or do you think that they're just too inconsistent?
Well, so Game 7, this is a hard series to predict. It's been so up and down. You just don't know what you're getting from the Sixers, really. I mean, must-win game, though. And as you said, biggest game in Ben Simmons and Embiid's career so far, which it really is. Big pressure. You got all these pieces. Your chips are all in for this season. And Simmons and Embiid showed up, especially Simmons. Simmons played a fantastic game, aggressive mindset. You gotta love what he showed tonight. But it really comes down to how Embiid plays in Game 7 in my mind. If Embiid comes out and he's aggressive and he shoots 20 shots and that doesn't just, sit around and only shoot 9 shots and plays elite defense that they need, because we know Jimmy Butler will show up. Ben Simmons, I don't know if he's going to come back with another 20-point performance on the road. That'd be huge. If that happens, they'll win.
Agreed. That'll make them win.
If I have I think the Sixers win the Game 7. I've been on the Sixers before the series, so I'm staying with the Sixers. And I do think they have a better chance of beating the Bucks, but I don't think no one's taking out that juggernaut of that Bucks team.
You don't think it's realistic though? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll take the Raptors in 7. I agree that this series has been so ups and down that it's hard to know what we're going to get from either team. But I do believe that the Raptors are going to show up, that Kawhi is going to ball out. If Simmons scores 20 again, then they are going to win. Before this game, he was having a really bad series. So is he going to play like he played this game, or is he going to play like he was before? And I don't think that it's a guarantee that Jimmy's going to show up. Jimmy showed up for 6 games straight. He couldn't have an off game, and if he does, Embiid is going to have to play good, because Embiid hasn't showed up. He showed up this last night, but he hasn't showed up in terms of how he should be playing this series to how he was hyped up before the playoffs. So we'll see what happens.
The whole Sixers team, outside of Jimmy Butler, Tobias Harris, he played pretty solid tonight, but Tobias Harris hasn't been good this entire series. JJ Redick hasn't been good in a single game this series. Simmons has only been good in Game 6, and Embiid has only been good in Game 3s and Game 3 and Game 6. So we'll see. I think it depends. We know I feel like Kawhi and Jimmy are gonna show up for Game 7. That's the only thing I know about this game.
I think Kawhi will for sure. So I know a question that's been kind of floated around is, if the Sixers do lose, are you thinking about trading Embiid or Simmons this offseason and seeing what you can get back, at least testing the market?
I wouldn't trade either, but I would understand trading Embiid out of health, concerns and stuff, because if he shows he continues to have injury prone and injury issues, his value goes away, and his career is going to be, substantial. He could have a short career if he continues to have these injury problems. He's missed more games than he's played in his career if you look at it. Simmons, I really don't think, because I know you're not a big fan of him, but you have to agree his potential is through the roof. If he gets any hint of a jump shot, he will be a 25-point per game guy.
His
on
potential's huge,
high efficiency.
but how? But
you can't
if
give
you're
up.
not
You
going to
can't
run
give
the
up on that
offense through him,
potential.
if you're not going to run the offense through him, then what are you going to? They're gonna max Jimmy. If they're not gonna I really think that he's probably gonna resign.
You think Jimmy stays if they lose Game 7?
I think so. I think Jimmy is so Philly. The way he plays, the fans love him. This is the place that he's fit in most out of everywhere he's been in the NBA. I could see him leaving. I could see LA being a serious possibility as far as the Lakers go, but I could see him staying too. If Jimmy leaves, it's no question you keep Simmons. But my point is that if you're going to have somebody else that you run the offense through, you could just see what you could get back from one of them. I don't think it's a crazy thing to say, because you got to look at who you're going to be competing against in the future. You're going to be competing against the Bucks. Do you think you even have a chance to beat the Bucks if this roster comes back next year? I don't know.
I don't know. It's tough because the Bucks are probably going to get better.
They're only going to get better.
But
what are they going to
I
get
will
worse?
say if Jimmy stays, the idea of trading Embiid is throughout the window, because I think Jimmy and Embiid have the best chemistry out of anyone on the Sixers. They seem like they've clicked kind of recently, especially in this series in a sense.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I agree with that. I like Jimmy Butler a lot. Game 7 is going to be huge. This time in NBA history is so big. Game 7 is going to be big for the future of the Sixers. All these games are big for the future of these teams. And so I'm pumped for Sunday. the game 7 that we're going to get between these two teams is going to decide Brett Brown's future going forward, possibly the 76ers roster going forward. So it's going to be a big time decision. Just to clear up, you have 76ers and I have Raptors. Okay. So now moving into the marquee series and the series that everybody wants to talk about and the one that definitely has the most media hype around it, Warriors versus Rockets. Game 6 is tonight. Huge game in Houston for Houston. And the big news, of course, Kevin Durant out. No Kevin Durant for the rest of the series. So we get to see the old look Warriors, although it's not the same with their depth. They're definitely not nearly as deep as they used to be against these Rockets who have been trying to beat them for so long and the red-eyed Harden. I really think that this series is going to go down as like an iconic playoff series. I think Rockets win in 7. I think they blow them out and sit in Game 6, and I think they win a close one in Game 7. But the real question is that what kind of Curry are we going to see? Are we going to see Curry MVP Curry, or are we going to see what we've seen in these playoffs?
Curry's going to hoop. He's going to hoop.
We will see. We will see what happens. I really think that Game 6 tonight we're going to see Houston win by double digits, and I think it's going to be comfortable the whole way. How do you see tonight's game going?
I don't know. I mean, I got Rockets in 7. I said Rockets in 7 before the series, and with KD out, it's weird though, because I don't know. It was weird. That game 5, when KD went out, like everyone kind of instantly, like the Rockets were on a roll. They're grooving. They just tied the game up pretty. I think they were down 3 when KD left the game. Like they just got back into the game right before KD got hurt, and then almost like you could like sense it and feel his vibe switch, like with the Warriors. Like it wasn't like the Warriors were deflated. Like you remember when the Spurs were up 20 against the Warriors a couple years ago and Kawhi got hurt and the whole team like seemed deflated, like, oh, we're done, it's over. The Warriors had no sign of that. The Warriors are like, okay, KD's gone, watch us, like we are some bad dudes, like y'all forgot, like even without KD.
Okay, that's true, but let me say this. PJ Tucker stepped out of bounds on a 3 that he made that would have cut it down to 2. And then Draymond Green goes down and makes that 3 after the technical foul. Those 2 plays are massive. I don't think that in 4-quarter game without KD, they're going to be better.
It was a whole like
I just don't believe
quarter
that.
and a half without KD, and you would think, without KD, maybe the Rockets could have gone on a run at some point, but no, they didn't go on a run the entire time. It was close when KD went out.
No.
For the entire time. And Steph,
I blame that on the Rockets,
hit a light
though.
switch. It almost like Steph was pumped. Like, all right, no more. Like Steph was like, all right, I've been struggling. I've been missing shots. And KD's been getting all the credit for how great he's been playing because he has been amazing and everything. And once KD went out, he was like, all right, like
incredible.
Everybody been saying I'm struggling, and KD's getting all this praise. Now watch, I'm ain't struggling. Now like it's almost like it was a pressure relieved on him when you would think it would be almost the opposite where there's more pressure on him. But it was like, all right, now I have to start making my shots, and now I have the freedom to just have the ultimate green light. There is no, I won't miss a couple shots, and then it would be like, all right, we have to go to KD ISO now since I missed a couple. It's like, no, you are our dude, Curry. You keep shooting no matter what. And it just made him play with so much more freedom, and the ball moved way more when KD went out. I mean, I'm sorry. Like, they started moving that ball.
Oh, it did. They were running everywhere. It was crazy. But the KD being out is huge. And by the way, get well soon, KD. I think everybody around the league is just so glad that it's not anything more serious because it would have just completely changed the course of NBA history. Seriously,
it would have
been
been devastating.
We talk about this series with KD out now and we're analyzing it, but everybody I think wants KD to get healthy as soon as possible and prayers up to KD. But I will say that Steph Curry, what you were saying about him having more of the green light, that was true. People said that before KD even came to Golden State that it was going to happen, and that did happen. But that's also, it leaves the Warriors at their vulnerability that if Steph and Klay are off tomorrow night, they're going to get blown out.
Yeah. I mean, it was, I don't expect them to be off.
If Steph and Klay were off before, they could win.
Yeah.
They've been off this series. They both caught fire last game, but they've been off this series.
Yeah, at the end when KD, I'm excited to see how they look because when KD, in the last 27 games, when KD doesn't play and Curry does play, they're 26-1 and like it's like back to like their 73 win dominance kind of thing. Cause and it almost made there was one play where Curry had the ball at the top and he was running the offense and he drove it in and he dropped it in to Draymond in the fourth for an easy wide open layup, and Draymond, looked at him, gave him the pointing finger, and it just gave me vibes and feelbacks of like, man, they had some elite chemistry before KD got there. I mean, I'm not saying they're better without
No,
KD.
they were.
I'm not
they
saying
were. Yes, they were. They were better before they got KD. I don't know how anyone can argue that they were the better team before they got KD. I really believe that.
Yeah, I mean maybe not as championship dominant, but maybe they win more games if they never get KD in the regular season stuff. But it just like that one play symbolized like just like how much like it really KD being there really got us like really put a cloud over how great Steph really was. Like that 2-year stretch was him running that offense and him just like making just everything running through him and it just working beautifully and magically was such a beauty to watch. And
everyone's talking about KD's decision this summer, but Steph's affected by that decision a lot as well. People don't understand.
I think
could
the
see him
Warriors
wanting
are down
KD
for
to
KD
go.
to go. I think the whole team, like they love KD and they love playing with KD and they know like, hey, with KD no one can beat us is their mentality.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, remember when Draymond and KD got into that altercation in a sense?
Yeah, that was heated.
Draymond called him the B word and stuff and called him, go ahead, leave. We won without you. We'll win without you again. Like that was reportedly said. Draymond said that in like the heated altercation. And, when you're in a heated altercation and argument and stuff, like, you say some stuff that you regret, but some stuff you say is the truth. The truth just comes out. And they for sure feel like, KD leaves, opens up this cap space, bringing in some more players, some more depth, and let's show them who we were before them. Like we're still gonna be the Warriors.
Yeah, like we are who we thought they were. Yeah, that's gonna be very interesting this offseason. But who do you have? So tonight you have Rockets.
Yeah, I got Rockets.
You think it's gonna be handy, or you think it's gonna be a close game?
It's so hard to predict. I mean, I don't think it's gonna be. It could be a blowout, but I think the Rockets win.
If Rockets lose, what happens though?
I don't see them losing games. At Game 7, anything can happen. Game 7's it's gonna be. I'll have a better feel for what Game 7's gonna be like after watching a whole game without KD in Game 6 and see how the Warriors really look for an entire game on the road.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean,
that's very
true. I will
true.
not be surprised at all though if the Warriors won this series. Still, I mean, I still am riding with the Rockets. I thought the Rockets were gonna win this series, and I still think they're gonna win this series. And KD going down makes it feel a lot more comfortable that they're gonna win this series. I mean, it seems like the whole world now is thinking Rockets are gonna win this series, which makes me feel like it makes
scary.
me feel like I don't know, man.
No, I know. That's like betting, like smart. A lot of professional bettors, one sign to bet on another team is if most of the public's on the other side. It's just like sometimes it just isn't. Yeah.
In the Warriors, I don't know. I mean, this is a mental thing. The Warriors have, before their first year, they won the championship. They were able to play like the underdog card. Everyone's doubting us. They have never been able to play that card, and now they're gonna go into this mindset, be like, nobody thinks we can win. Draymond's gonna be like, nobody thinks we're gonna win. All this stuff and get a man, and that's what makes Draymond great too, because he's gonna get those dudes amped.
Yeah, I agree.
It's exciting.
Well, I will say this: I have Rockets in 7, but no matter which way this series goes, it's gonna be huge when we talk about the legacy of the Warriors in the future. When KD goes out, what happens these last 2 games?
Speaking of legacy, this is James Harden and Chris Paul's legacy. These next 2 games, you got the best opportunity ever to win a championship.
True. More Harden.
More Harden. I mean,
actually,
Chris Paul has been nowhere this series.
More Chris Paul.
Chris Paul also. I mean, I know he's older, but you're getting paid $30 million. You got to you can't be the 3rd best player on the team. Like Eric Gordon is clearly the 2nd best player right now on the squad, and it's a legacy game.
Capella's got to show up too. I think he will.
I mean, Harden got criticized big time Game 5. I mean, that was a big moment. KD went out. I mean, Harden, I know he made good basketball plays and stuff, but I mean, he could have made a better effort to take it over, even especially Chris Paul, because they weren't doubling and trapping Chris Paul. Harden was getting double and trapped off every pick and roll. But this is massive for their legacies. If Harden and CP3, if they lose to the Warriors without KD, I mean, that's gonna be written in their legacy forever, you know.
All right, so let's move on and just quickly touch on Celtics versus Bucks. Bucks did the good old dismantle of a team everybody thought was good.
Yeah.
You called this a long time ago. I'll give you credit. You were never a believer in the Celtics.
Yep.
Kyrie Irving starting to change the narrative on him a little bit this series. He kind of did it to himself this whole year and what he's done this series. But the real story, Giannis and the Bucks are amazing. They look like a real championship contender. And honestly, I don't want to say there's not that much to talk about, but it almost feels like they're playing inferior competition. Once this Eastern Conference Finals comes, we'll have a lot to talk about with the Bucks. But for now, they've pretty much just breezed through everyone that they've played. I think they've had like 5 or 6 double-digit wins already.
No, they have 5 wins by 20+ points in this playoffs.
Oh, jeez, yeah. So there's that. Anything else you want to say about Bucks before we move on real quick? Though?
I did say in that series after Game 1, I was shocked that the Celtics won Game 1 and that the Bucks were gonna come and just win the next 4. I thought, and that's exactly what happened. I mean, yeah, the Celtics were a group of guys though that just didn't like each other, and like it's not like they didn't like each other; they just weren't having fun playing with each other, and that was like noticeable. And like that's what made. I mean, I hate how like Kyrie gets kind of a bad look. It was just a bad chemistry, bad locker room. They had talent there, but
yeah, but he's a little bit to blame for that because he's
he's got a little bit of blame.
Yeah,
but he's getting the hell out of there, and rightfully so, man.
All right, so a little bit off of these second round playoff series into the front office side of NBA. We just want to touch quickly on what's going on with the Los Angeles Lakers here. First of all, they got their main coaching target swooped by the Phoenix Suns and Monty Williams.
Yes, sir.
And then their second coaching target, Ty Lue, apparently they hit a, I quote, impasse that could not be resolved in their coaching contract disputes. Like, come on, Los Angeles. Like, there's not that many guys on the market. You got LeBron. You decided, I mean, this reeks of dysfunction, but I will say that it's nice to no longer have all the jokes about the Suns. Since we hired Monty Williams, it's like joke's over. It really is. It's like jokes over about the Suns.
I mean,
until
right
farther
now.
notice. Until farther notice, yeah. But then, I mean, we're out of that. We're out of the joke right now. Right now, the joke is the Lakers. But I still think a deal with Lue could possibly get done, to be honest.
If the Lakers are smart, they should call up Ty Lue and be like, yeah, we'll give you 5 years and let you hire your assistants and stop being so stingy. If you're gonna keep, because there's people like Kurt Rambis and stuff pressuring Jeannie Buss to try to trade LeBron. So if you actually want to go down that route to try to trade LeBron, then not hiring Ty Lue makes sense. But if you're gonna keep LeBron, there's no better coach out there than Ty Lue. You gotta hire Ty Lue.
I totally agree.
You are one of the biggest sports franchises in the world. You telling me you can't give him 2 more years and give him? I mean, yeah, this is bad. This is bad. I mean, I think how everything's transpired. I thought it really depends what KD does to this offseason. If KD and Kyrie go to the Knicks, that would be huge. But I don't think if KD doesn't team up with Kyrie, I mean, I feel like Kyrie would definitely go back to the Lakers and he would save this dysfunction. If Kyrie goes to the Lakers, it doesn't matter who's the coach or what's happening.
Win another championship.
You got LeBron and Kyrie together, and that's proven in a championship contender.
That's proven to be the best team in NBA history, is what that's proven to do.
Yeah, so, but I don't understand.
Yeah,
what they're.
I don't get it, but we'll keep you guys updated on the situation. Make sure to follow us on Twitter to keep updated on that. But like I said, I think a deal with Ty Lue could still be possible going forward because who else are you gonna hire? It's just that simple.
Who's running the Lakers right now? Is it Rob Pelinka?
Nobody knows.
Is it Jeannie Buss? Is it Kurt
At least
Rambis?
we know who's running the
No
Phoenix
one knows.
Suns. At least we know who's running it at this point.
Yeah.
If they run it bad, at least we have someone to blame. So
I love James Jones came out and said today that we aren't gonna pursue Terry Rozier. I was very hyped about that.
Bro, James Jones, I know that everybody really likes to talk about how James Jones doesn't have much front office experience. He's just Sarver's puppet. But let's at least let him get a chance. Every GM has to be a first-time GM at some point. And the moves he made this year, a lot of I love the Oubre move. I love it.
Yeah.
You know, that was a really good move. So
we'll see. This offseason what happens. I mean, I'm excited. I mean, get Monty Williams is exciting.
Exactly, that's huge.
If we didn't get if we kept Ryan McDonough, I mean, we probably don't have Monty.
We have Igor for our second season.
If we have McDonough, though, we're still just going straight into a dumpster fire because McDonough was just making poor move after poor move. So,
all right, folks. Well, that's all we got for you today. We really appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure you tune into the games tonight, Warriors Rockets. Hopefully, we do get a Game 7 on Mother's Day. Please follow us on Twitter at bball_nerd. We like to engage with our fans every day. Send us some DMs, send us some tweets. Let us know that you're active in the NBA Twitter community, and we'll try to get you involved in every discussion we can. Anything else you want to say before we wrap up?
Yeah, just hit us with comments. We're posting stuff daily. We'll keep you updated with all the KD injuries and anything else that happens in the NBA world on Twitter. We're there. It's popping.
Yeah, we'll be live tweeting it for sure. So
we got a podcast. A podcast will be Monday morning, recapping all the Game 7s.
Like I said, just follow us at bball_nerd on Twitter and help us grow to the #1 NBA podcast on iTunes by just helping us share and enjoying with your friends. So enjoy the games tonight. We got Game 6 coming, and check us out on Monday.
You're listening to the Basketball Nerd Podcast.